we've got briefings to newspapers, which actually is ironic, I think, because it's precisely what Harry went on about in his book, how he felt the palace planted stories with papers. He even accused Camilla of doing the same. And yet we don't have that clarity coming from Harry now. I think that's disappointing because it leaves this vacuum into which we are all wading with all sorts of ideas and speculation when we've absolutely no idea why now.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are planning to move back to the UK at the end of the month, relocating from America to a private, non-royal residence outside London. King Charles was told about the move on Sunday. There are no current plans for either Prince Harry or Meghan to resume any role as working royals. Last year, Prince Harry lost a legal challenge over the levels of security he and his family are entitled to while in the UK. So should taxpayers foot the bill for Harry's security? Well, the Prime Minister, Andy Burnham's been asked about it and his thoughts about the couple's security.
Well, this is a private matter. It's a matter for Harry and for Meghan, and we wish them well in the move that they're making.
That was succinct. Jennie Bond, former BBC Royal correspondent, joins me now. Hello to you, Jennie, and welcome to The Times at 1. What do you make of it, first of all? Were you surprised?
Gobsmacked yet again. Harry and Meghan have a habit of doing that. You know, there's lots and lots of secrecy, almost obsessive secrecy about their lives, and then wham, bam, we get another bombshell.
Absolutely. I mean, why now, do you think?
Well, that is the question. And that's why I think it would have been helpful if we'd had a clear, concise statement from Harry and Meghan to say, this is what we've decided, this is why we're going to do it, and this is how we hope it'll pan out. But instead, we've got briefings to newspapers, which actually is ironic, I think, because it's precisely what Harry went on about in his book, how he felt the palace planted stories with papers. He even accused Camilla of doing the same. And yet we don't have that clarity coming from Harry now. I think that's disappointing because it leaves this vacuum into which we are all wading with all sorts of ideas and speculation when we've absolutely no idea why now.
I mean, it is incredible. You're absolutely right. There is this huge vacuum and everybody is leaping into it. I mean, in my mind, is it a case of still looking for a purpose, still looking for a sort of a reason to be Harry and Meghan coming back to the UK?
Well, if I have to hazard a guess, I would say it's more to do with the children.
Right.
I happen to have grandchildren, actually, of exactly that age, 7 and 5. And there comes a point when you have to decide really where their roots are going to be, where their schooling is going to be. And remarkably and secretly, they seem to have already enrolled Archie and Elizabeth in a school.
Yes.
Well done them. And that's brilliant. Nothing got out about that. I think, therefore, part of it is to do with the children and part of it is to do with another age range, and that is the king, who is elderly. The children are young, need to find a direction. The king is old and, as we know, living with cancer. And I think those two pulls have been quite strong on Harry for quite some time, and that is, I think, part of the reason why they're doing this.
I mean, did the palace then see this coming in that sense?
I don't think so. They certainly haven't said so. There's been no indication from them whatsoever, other than the king is pleased that he's going to see his grandchildren more. And in all this complexity, and it will be complex and it could be messy, I think it's a matter of great joy, really, that the king is going to get to know these two little people, his grandchildren that he hardly knows. And he's quite a sentimental old thing, and he loves being with George and Charlotte and Louis, and I think he will very much enjoy having the Sussex children closer by.
And those are the grandchildren, but in terms of family relations generally, I mean, we all know they've been strained.
Of course they have, and it's going to be difficult for William, I think. This is very tricky ground indeed. Now, I mean, we know the rift is very deep between the brothers, but I think whilst Harry has been in California, thousands and thousands of miles away, it just hasn't been front and centre of anyone's mind, really. But with the two brothers in the same country and cousins, first cousins who don't know each other, are absolute strangers, a lot is going to be focused on how deep is that rift. And I just think Harry really has placed the ball in William's court now. And he's going to have to think hard, William, about whether he wants to continue along this path and not talking to his brother, or, as Harry has said, decide that life is precious. Basically, there's no point in fighting anymore, and let's just, I'm not saying be close friends again. I'm not sure they can ever
have more cordial, at least, and civil sort of relations. I mean, do you think as part of that there will be some discussion about their role when they come back, because they step back from royal duties in 2020?
Well, there's one thing the palace are being quite clear about, that nothing has changed. And the view of the late Queen and of the King is that they are not working royals, and that they can't be half in and half out. I've always actually taken issue with that, because I think there could have been a way for them to be half in and half out. And actually, you could argue that it's a fait accompli. That is really what they are doing. They are earning money. They are doing charity work. They are doing tours abroad. They're just not officially representing the UK or the royal family. But I don't think there will be any formal working role for them anymore.
Right. What about security? We heard the question being asked, or rather Andy Burnham, the Prime Minister, responding to a question about it. We don't really know about the security arrangements thus far. I think it's a decision perhaps the Home Secretary will have to make. But he's obviously been very clear, Prince Harry, in the past. He worries about safety and being in the UK.
Well, yes, there we are again. What has changed? I have no idea. It's only a year since he said in an interview that he could not foresee a way in which he could safely bring his family back to the UK. Yet they came back last month, in and out, without us even seeing them or knowing about it. And now they're coming to school here and to live here. Has something changed, or has Harry suddenly thought, well, I'm just going to carry on as we are? Again, I have sympathy with Harry on this one, because I think he does deserve security. It obviously would be expensive for the taxpayer, but he can't change the fact that he is the king's son, that he did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and that he has got a target on his back. So I think Ravick, the committee who oversee this, may decide that an assessment is due sooner rather than later.
Right, and the other thorny issue is press intrusion, because, of course, that's very much been a front and centre issue for the Duke and Duchess. And he has said, they've made my wife's life an absolute misery, and yet they could be coming back into the eye of the storm.
Yes, and Harry has not made great friends with the tabloid press, who he has been suing. 3 different court cases, 2 of which he made some progress in, had some success. The 3rd he lost comprehensively. So yes, they're probably not very thinking very favourably of him. I don't know how bad the intrusion will be. I hope it's not bad. I don't think it will be too awful, because I think we all have to remember that this is a strong, independent woman, but a woman who said she was driven to have suicidal thoughts when she was part of the royal family and when she was living here. And I think that has to be taken very seriously. So I hope that there is not a pylon, which I've already seen beginning in some quarters, a pylon on Meghan. She doesn't deserve it.
Jennie Bond, former BBC royal correspondent, talking to me.